Diane in Denmark here, woohoo! It is Friday, we made it to the end of another week, and you're going to have to excuse me for being more than usually excited today. You know, I'm always excited to talk to you. But today, if you can see our calendar candle, woohoo, we are on the 21st of December. You can see almost all the candles are gone. I'm keeping them for next year, so I just put them somewhere else, but you can see the jar is almost empty. And actually I'm gonna, and you can see this other one, we're almost down here as well. It's getting more and more difficult to light it. There we are. And I'll blow this one out, and I'll tell you what I normally do, because I want to keep these for next year. I bought them last year. I want to keep them for next year. And what I normally do is, when I blow this one out in the morning, then I put in, just a red one. There we go. Just pop that over there. I don't want to get wax everywhere. And then I can keep it for next year. Anyway, the 21st of December, for those of you who don't realise what a big thing that is for me, it's winter solstice, which means it's the shortest day of the year when we have least hours of daylight. But that means that from tomorrow we start heading towards the light again. And I've mentioned it before, you may be living in a part of the world that doesn't affect you so much, but we have really short days here in Denmark, especially like the last few days where we have not had any sun. It's been foggy, clouded over, you know, raining. And when the sun does rise, it's like at 20 to 9, you know, where we actually get some daylight. And then, you know, before 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's already getting dark. So this is a huge thing for me. I love the bright days. But you know how it works, even if it's really, really dark here in the winter, on the bright side, in the summer, we have fantastically long days where, you know, it never seems to get dark. Anyway, just a few things to check in with you today. Let me put that aside. I don't want to set everybody on fire. I hope you have been doing the Flylady cruising through the holidays, because I'm feeling really good this year. Presents are bought, wrapped, and if you didn't do it this year, then just take note for next year to get started early. Because the whole point of doing the cruising through the holidays is so that you can really enjoy the season. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that just by having the gift spot and whatever, you can actually, you know, walk around in the city and enjoy the decorations instead of feeling that kind of stress. And yesterday, I just want to share something with you. The very fact of, you know, being ahead with Christmas planning or whatever, I needed a little break yesterday, and I went into Tivoli, you know, Tivoli Gardens, which is a kind of a fun park, an amusement park, and beautiful gardens. And don't worry, I filmed some of it for you, so I'll probably put that up maybe tomorrow. And I was able to take, you know, an hour out of my day and go in and enjoy on my own. And I went on the roller coasters, and I went up on the flying, the tallest one that they have. And, you know, I was able to enjoy that. And then in the evening, because my routines are up to date, you know, because the laundry is done, because the dishwasher is empty, because I know what's for dinner, you know, because I'm just keeping going with my routines, you know, morning and evening routines. I was able to go out last night for an impromptu dinner with my daughter, with my DD16. The Danish schools are, at least their schools are now closed for the holidays, and we celebrated that. So my DD16 and I went out for an impromptu dinner. I put pictures on Instagram if you want to see it. And we went out for some Asian street food, and, you know, Copenhagen looked beautiful. And just because I'm up to date with my routines, it's easy to be able to help out a friend. You know, if suddenly you get that call in the morning, can you help me deliver the kids, or somebody's ill, needs to be taken to the emergency room, or, you know, all of these things have happened to me before, and I've been able to help out because my routines are up to date. And on the other hand, even if there's not a kind of emergency going on, you can, you know, suddenly do something fun. You know, you don't have to be, you know, I'm not dressed, and you can just go out and have some fun. Anyway, and I've got my little Christmas bauble earrings on today. I'm feeling very festive, and I almost wore I've got some candy cane ones as well, but I thought I would go with the little baubles. Anyway, Friday in Flylady Land, as I like to call it, is the usual thing. Here we go for the daily focus. And remember, you can do the daily focus on any day that suits you. I just follow the Flylady's plan, it's easier for me. And Friday in Flylady Land is fill up your car with petrol, and I did that last week. So we don't use our car very often because we use our bikes for school, work, small errands. So I only need to fill up our car every second week with petrol. But you know, whenever you're out driving, you know, if you're out on errand date, fill up the car if you're going past the petrol station. And while you're filling up the car, maybe, you know, wipe off, I always do the windows because, you know, it's kind of mucky time of year, you know, and grit and sand and whatever. And I always clean the windows. And if you've got any junk inside the car, maybe you've got rubbish inside the car. We don't eat when we're in our car, but maybe you've got stuff that needs to come out. Maybe you need to fold the blankets. Make sure that you've got an ice scraper in there, maybe a small shovel if you live in an area where you get a lot of snow and you may have to dig yourself out or somebody else. You know, keep some water in there. And it did actually happen for me, gosh, I think about 7 or 8 years ago. I've mentioned it before. I was going to pick up my daughter from school camp along with one of the other mums, and we were the first on the scene at an accident where a car had lost control, gone off the road, and we had to get the people out. And I was able to take the passenger, the lady. She could sit in my car. I actually had hot coffee, and I had my Flylady water bottle and blanket. So you never know what is around the corner. So be prepared. So fill up your car with petrol, make sure it's nice and clean so you can offer anybody a lift. Maybe pump up your bike tyres if you're out on your bike like I am. I got my gears, I got a new set of gears the other day and I'm feeling like it's a brand new bike. Date night with your significant other or your husband or both of them, whatever you have, or with yourself if you're saying, you know, just do something nice for yourself. I've mentioned before, my hubby and I, we like to stay home. We're real kind of home bodies and we love that. So what I always do is I make up a basket with the family's favourite snacks, and I post a picture on Fridays on Instagram of it, but I thought I would just show you today what that is. So it's just a wee basket I have. It's actually, I don't know if you can see that, it's actually a heart-shaped basket. We love our baskets in Denmark. And you know, and don't worry, we don't eat all of this, not always. And it's for the weekend, but it's something that we kind of dive into on Friday night. And some of them we share and some of them are kind of specific. Like, for example, if you've known me for a while, you know that I am mad about Heinz tomato ketchup crisps. And they're really quite difficult to find here. There are only certain stores that have them at certain times. Anyway, I managed to get them the other day and I bought 6 packets. Did I buy 6 or did I buy? They were on offer. So I'm good to go for the next few weeks. What else have we got in here? We've got some Danish chocolate from the TOTH company. An Åkaner, which are called Åkaner are like lily pads. So they were, that's, you know, it's just chocolate with a little mint pastel on the top. Those are delicious. And these are ones like matchmaker sticks that, you know, I used to get in, when I lived at home in Scotland. These are orange matchmakers, or orange grain, which are called orange branches in Denmark. Matador mix for the boys, they love that. My brother in Scotland bought these for the kids. Jelly babies, you know, for all the Doctor Who fans out there, and these are snowmen jelly babies. Fläskesvär, which are pork crackling, you know, the bits of pork all really, really crunchy. Great if you really need a kick of salt. You know what those are, I'm sure. We have them where you are. And also from the Tom's Chocolate Company in Denmark, snowballs. And these are a hard, kind of crispy shell, then chocolate, and inside is marzipan. And I think I did a video last year when I went through Danish Christmas sweets. It will probably be on the Danish Christmas list. Anyway, and those are a classic at Christmas. They're really expensive. I don't know why they should be so expensive, but it's just one of those things that you've got to have at Christmas. So that's our little pamper snack basket for today. And what was the other thing? Let me see. Flylady. Oh yeah, and the other thing for Flylady on a Friday is clean out your purse or handbag, as we call it in English, American English, your purse. You've probably got a lot of receipts in there, you know, if you've been out doing some last minute Christmas shopping. Maybe you've got some snotty hankies in there. I can always find a snotty hanky, where we've all got the sniffles at the moment. And if you've got things like receipts in there, just put them in with your holiday control journal, so that if something needs to be exchanged or you know, taken back, there's a problem with it, you know where to find it. And you've probably got goodness knows what's in your handbag right now. But anyway, just set your timer for 5 minutes and go through that. I'm going to be doing mine in a wee minute. And I also go through my swimming bag. You know, I'm down swimming every day or every other day in the sea, you know, my skinny dip in the sea. So I always check that on a Friday, take out my towel and put in a clean one. You know, maybe you've got a sports bag, maybe you go to yoga, and check with the kids. If this is also their last day of school, when they come home from school today, check the backpacks. Are there, you know, weird lunches that have ended up in the bottom of the bag? Are there forms that were meant to be signed? You know, the usual things. Anyway, and the last thing I wanted to share with you today, just because it was a little, I should have been doing a vlogmas, because all my videos this month have been Christmas related. Oh, hold on, now I've got bits of snowball on me. I was telling you that I was setting the table because we've got guests coming tomorrow for our traditional Christmas meetup. And this is one of the boxes that I had with our Christmas decorations. And I don't know what this box is. It was probably some kind of, I don't know where we got this box. Was it perfume or something? Anyway, and in this box I have things which have belonged to my husband's family, either his dearly departed Danish mother or dearly departed Danish father. And I've mentioned this to you before, the whole month of December in Denmark is the Christmas month. The Danes, they make a lot of things, paper ornaments, you know, everybody kind of gets into it. And it's just that kind of fact of sitting down and doing something with your fingers. And you don't need to finish it. You know me, and I started making the angels the other day, and some of them will never get finished, but it's just that kind of, in a way, it's like a little pamper thing that you just kind of sit down and do something, and your mind is not on all the woes of the world, but you're just sitting doing something. And my both my Danish father-in-law and my mother-in-law were great at crafts, and I mean, you've seen the stuff that they've made. But I just want to share some funny things with you today, which are in this box. And I mentioned to you before, there are the ones that we have on the Christmas tree, these little tiny beads that have all been sewn together. I mean, the patience of a saint, that is, and I don't have that kind of patience. I'm more kind of, you know, I want to get it done and get it over and done with. Here's another one, look at that, around a ball, and that has been threaded on, and fascinating. Also these ones, which are quite fun. Now, I'm not generally into little elves. I like these kind of elves, but these ones not so much. And in fact, I find them a bit kind of scary. But I think these ones were probably made by my Danish father-in-law. And often you can buy kits in Denmark where they've got like the little different faces and you glue all the bits together. Those are always fun for kids to do. But I know these ones, hold on. Oh, there's little tiny ones. Do you see that? A little lady, even with a little bit of grey hair, like me. You can see lots of my grey this morning, I hope. Not looking too dark. And these are the ones that I really want to, oh, here's another weird one. These are the ones that I didn't want to share with you. These are hearts which were, I believe, crocheted by my Danish mother-in-law. I'll check with my husband, but she did most of the crochet work. And you can see we've got these little hearts, and quite often, let me see, you can see it better there because I've got the red on today. I quite often put those, you know, underneath you know, the wine glass on the table. They look really cute. Or you can put them between plates, you know, if you're laying the plates up, if you've got a charger plate and the other plate. And the other thing that she made a lot, which I was fascinated with when I first came to Denmark, and which I have actually made myself. I'll show you one that I've made. She made these little aprons. Now, if you're thinking, who's going to fit an apron like that? It's kind of doll size. It's not for dolls, it's actually for going on a bottle. And let me just stop here, let me grab a bottle. Okay, I'm back. You put them on, for example, a wine bottle, so that it looks all kind of festive when it's sitting there on the Christmas table. And in Denmark, we generally speaking use a lot of bottles. Bottles are recycled, you know, we're big on recycling. And you get your money back at the shop that you pay a deposit on. This is actually a bottle of advocat. I don't know if you've ever tried the Christmas cocktail called a snowball. This mixed with Sprite or 7-Up. Something I used to get when I was a child in Scotland. So we always have an advocate at Christmas. It's a fun thing for us to do. That's kind of Scottish tradition. You can put these on, you know, your wine bottles on the table or your beer bottles. And here's a funny one for you. Just as this is a beer. This is like a dark ale. And if you see here, it's actually got the small elves on the bottle, and if you can see here, it says hygge. Now, Jule, that's where the word Yule comes from. The English word Yule comes from the Viking Yule, or Scandinavian Yule, and hygge is a short word for hygge. You know, we do the hygge where we make everything cozy and warm and celebrate every day, like you've seen with calendar candles. So this is quite a funny one, julehygge, instead of julebrygge, because it's kind of like a play on words, because normally you can call any Christmas beer is called julebrygge, and here they call it julehygge. So and at hygge is you can also say anyway, I have to go. Okay, julehygge. So we're doing the julehygge. And then you can put your little apron on here. Yeah, I'm going to have to get going soon. And here is one that I made. Now, I took the pattern that my Danish mother-in-law had. And listen, I don't have a pattern for it, but you can just kind of play around with the wine bottle that you've got, and maybe draw a pattern. But you can see they look great, and I love these things. I actually made some for my mum and dad in Scotland, and those were a present to them. So if you're looking to make a last minute Christmas present and you've got some kind of Christmas, some Christmas material, maybe you want to try making a little apron for your bottle of wine or your bottle of beer or your bottle of fizzy water, whatever you fancy. So anyway, I'm going to get on with my day. I hope you have a fantastic Friday today. And it is the 21st, so we are moving towards the light, and the days are going to get a bit longer and a bit brighter. But anyway, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I'll probably be on Instagram over the weekend, and I'll see if I can upload that video when I was at Tivoli yesterday and show you a few highlights from Tivoli at Christmas. So anyway, all I've got left to say is live long and prosper. May the Danish hygge be with you today, and I shall see you very soon. Okay, bye for now.